It's 1812, and a 12-year-old boy named John Brown is delivering a herd of cattle that he'd just driven over 100 miles to the home of a U.S. Marshal. The Marshal is impressed that such a young boy was able to do this all alone and invites him to stay with him for a few days before making the trek back to Ohio. John is tired from the journey, and the Marshal seems friendly, so he agrees, and together they enter his home. Inside, John sees a boy around his age dressed in ragged clothing. He excitedly rushes over to introduce himself, and the boy, though nervous at first, eventually warms up, and the two begin to play together. This boy was smart, kind, and gives John some things that he'd made as gifts. Soon it's dinner time, and the Marshal calls for John to join him and the guests he invited at the table. John's new friend serves them while the Marshal praises John in front of his friends. "This boy drove all that cattle out there over 100 miles all by himself." He beams as if John were his own son. The dinner is wonderful, filled with laughter, and eventually the guests leave to head home. John is smiling, full and content. But as the Marshal closes the door behind the last of his guests, a dark scowl emerges on his face. He turns to John's friend, the boy, and he begins berating him for the mistakes he had made during dinner service. The boy is terrified as the Marshal walks to the fireplace and grabs an iron shovel. Without hesitation, the Marshal turns and begins